FantasyFootball.com is your home for the latest fantasy news and updates. Get fantasy advice from the experts in fantasy football, baseball, basketball, hockey, NASCAR, and even golf. If you have a fantasy question, email the king himself, Scott Engel. Just go to rotoexperts.com and click on Scott Engel's email advice tab. rotoexperts.com, the best fantasy news in the business.
This is WICR.
All right, everyone, we are back and on to segment 2 now. And we are going to be talking about the NBA trade deadline. The deadline for trades in the NBA is 3 o'clock this afternoon. And Sean, what are some of the most recent trades that have gone through the switches?
Well, this just in, as of today, the Cleveland Cavaliers have shipped Earl Clark out to Philly in exchange for Spencer Hawes. I mean, as we have found out from last night, Steve Blake is now a Golden State Warrior, and the Warriors moved Bazemore and I believe Marshawn Brooks to the Lakers in exchange.
Okay, all right, and all right, so
you said before Marcus Thorne.
Oh yes, yes,
Nets, right?
Marcus Thornton to the Brooklyn Nets in exchange for Jason Terry and Reggie Evans.
All right. So what do you guys think of those trades so far?
The Cleveland trade. Cleveland was one of my teams I was going to talk about to make some moves today. I was going to say that they should deal Dion Waiters for a big man, because I think they need a big man who could score in the paint, because right now they have Tristan Thompson, who's notably known for his defense and shot blocking, and Anderson Varejao, who's not offensively post-minded. He's more of a defensive guy too. So I think by getting Spencer Hawes, maybe he can space the floor. He's a shooter, but he's not a guy who can particularly score around the paint. So I mean, it's an interesting trade. The trade that I was gonna say was to do the Knicks and the Cavaliers should do a trade together, because I feel like the Knicks, they need some backcourt help. They're getting no productivity out of the point or the shooting guard. And I think if the Knicks were to trade, say, Felton or Shumpert with Amari to the Cavaliers in exchange for like Dion Waiters and maybe like Jarrett Jack, I thought that would have been a good trade. But I guess that won't happen now. But we'll see. I thought that would be a good trade because I feel like that would benefit both teams, because I feel like Amari could help Kyrie in the paint. Kyrie can dish it into Amari. Amari can maybe play like the Phoenix Sundays and give a chance again, because he'll definitely get starting minutes over there in Cleveland. And Dion Waiters could be an asset for the Knicks. I feel like the Garden's a good environment for Dion Waiters. He's an emotional player. I feel like that Dion Waiters could help the Knicks. And Jarrett Jack, he can come in and be the point guard and play like how he did in New Orleans, because he needs a new chance to start over too.
However, as of right now, Dion Waiters is currently out with a knee injury. So
they can't trade him while being injured.
Yeah. Well,
that's a good point.
As you said with Waiters, I mean, he is a Syracuse guy. He went to Syracuse, so
I don't know. I just thought it was a good trade.
Yeah.
It wouldn't happen.
So New York, I'm sure he'd like to come back to New York. Syracuse is, I think their slogan is New York's University. So I could see that, and Waiters did put up some amazing performances at the Garden in the Big East tournament. So that would be an interesting trade. All right, what teams do you guys think need to make a move in the next 3.5 hours before the trade deadline is up?
Well, like I said before, the Knicks need backcourt help. A couple players they should go out after, besides Jarrett Jack and Dion Waiters. Maybe there's been some rumors of Jeff Teague. I still think they should pursue Kyle Lowry. He's a great all-around point guard. Kind of plays like Rondo, but a better scorer. He'll get you rebounds, get you assists, points. He's a great point guard to space the floor too. Rondo, although I don't think Danny Ainge is going to get rid of Rondo. I think Rondo's the last big piece that Danny Ainge has to build around, and Rondo is the only thing that stands for Boston in order to get any superstars even drawn back to Boston again. Rondo's the only piece. I don't think that would be a smart move by Danny Ainge to give up on Rondo and trade him. Jameer Nelson, I think the Knicks maybe should pursue him too. And I don't know if the Suns would do this, but Goran Dragic, maybe the Knicks can get him. So, I mean, those are just a couple open-minded suggestions. What do you think, Ian or Sean?
Yeah, Sean, we'll go to you, and then then I'll come in with some thoughts that I have.
Well, to me, the team that's in desperate need for a move right now is also the Knicks in my book. Like I'm for one, I'm no longer of the suspicion or the expectation that they should trade Carmelo Anthony. I feel like I'm gonna go out on a limb and trust that he will be committed and stay and back his words. However, nonetheless, they do need backcourt help. Dragic, like you said, good pickup for them. If Dion Waiters wasn't injured, that would have been the ideal pickup in my mind. Jared Jack could be useful as well. But yeah, just nonetheless, backcourt help. I personally like Shumpert, being that to me, he's the best on-ball defender. However, to deal Felton and, like you said, Amari for any backcourt help, kind of help resurrect Amari's career.
I think so, yeah.
That would actually be an asset.
Felton needs to go. They definitely need a point guard, if anything. I mean, they have Tim Hardaway off the bench, who I think should get more minutes even when Shumpert is healthy, because I think Tim Hardaway brings more to the table, although Tim Hardaway can sort of be a bit of a chuck sometimes.
Yeah, he could shoot you out of the game sometimes.
Yeah, he can shoot some not high percentage shots. But, I mean, Shumpert...
As seen in the last game against Memphis.
Oh, God.
All right. Obviously, the Knicks need backcourt help. And with Shumpert being injured, I totally agree. I like Shumpert a lot. He's a great defender. If the Knicks do not make a move, are they done?
I think so, because it's been a whole season already, almost a half a season already, in which they've had no productivity at the point and the shooting guard. What makes things change now? I don't see it happening in midseason. Not with all the controversy that's going on.
So the Knicks miss the playoffs without making a move?
I think they'll still manage a way to get into the playoffs, unfortunately, only because the 7th in the AC right now, the Atlanta Hawks and the Charlotte Bobcats, which are horrible teams, which are not playoff bound at all. And I think that the Knicks will definitely slip in. But they're going to get swept in the first round.
Well, my opinion is if they don't make a move as of 3 o'clock this afternoon, this season is a wash, including no postseason, in my opinion.
Yeah,
I agree with Sean. The Knicks are sitting.
They're kind of far out now. 3.5.
Yeah, 3.5 out.
Yeah.
And
there's a lot of teams in front of them too.
Yeah,
Cleveland.
They are currently sitting in the 11th spot with. All right, so you got Atlanta at the 7, Charlotte at the 8, and then you got Detroit in the 9 spot just outside the playoffs, and then Cleveland right in front of the Knicks, a half game ahead of them. And hey, Cleveland.
Yeah, I was about to say.
6-game winning streak. So
I was about to say, yeah, we've been critical of them all season, all three of us.
Yeah,
that was your team to rise.
As of our last show, we were saying, oh yeah, the Cavs are in shambles and just bad chemistry and poorly run there. But hey, they're on a rise and they're only 3 games out of the 8th spot. So I think a little Kyrie magic and the Cavs could be sneaking their way in. I mean, I know. Armand, you were saying that the Cavs are one of your teams that need to make a move.
Maybe not anymore.
Yeah, I mean, either one, they found a formula that's gonna work for them, or 2, maybe it's just they needed some time to get some of their immaturity out, and now they're starting to to gel together. I mean, I'm not saying this team is gonna do anything. If they do keep winning, they'll get into the playoffs. They'll be probably the 7 or the 8 and get either Miami or Indiana in the first round. Good luck with that one. They'll be playing 4 games after the end of the regular season, 4-game sweep. But hey, a few weeks ago it looked like that they'd be competing for another number 1 draft pick, and now it looks like they have a really good shot at making the playoffs.
I mean, they did listen to what I had to say a little bit. I mean, they made a trade for an offensive-minded big man. I mean, he's not a really good offensive-minded big man in Spencer Hawes, but he will score someone. He can shoot from the outside, and I think that's what this team really did need most, because they have no scoring weapons down low in the paint. And by getting Luol Deng a couple weeks ago was a big pickup for them. So, I mean, they've made moves.
Yeah.
They have made moves.
Yeah. Deng brings defensive intensity from Chicago, which the Cavs could use, given the fact that they give up 101.5 points per game. So
I still think Mike Brown should be fired, though.
Yeah, I think Mike Brown is showing.
Never been a fan of him.
Is showing that the success that he had in his first stint in Cleveland was largely due to number 23 and not his coaching expertise. But that's a different thing. They're not going to be trading Mike Brown.
No.
By 3:00.
So any other teams you guys have making moves?
Sean?
Do you know?
Well, as of right now, I would say.
I mean, I got a team.
Oh, well, go ahead. Share your thoughts.
I was gonna say maybe the Toronto Raptors should get a big man, because Amir Johnson had a nice start to the season, but he's starting to fall off. Jonas Valanciunas has been playing at a consistent pace the whole season, but I think that there's been some talk about the Raptors going after Kenneth Faried. And Kenneth Faried has been seeing less minutes this year than he did under George Karl. So maybe Brian Shaw might consider trading Kenneth Faried, and maybe the Raptors can throw in a couple good pieces to making this work. I think this would definitely benefit Toronto. I don't know who they would send over to Denver, but maybe I didn't see what the possible rumor of who was being sent, but maybe they could send Terrence Ross and some other guys who can score, because Denver needs to score a little bit more.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, I think that would be an interesting trade, because Toronto, as of right now, is the 3 seed in the East. So they're definitely thinking about this year and trying to definitely at least get a get a playoff
win.
Yeah,
get out of the first round.
Yeah, a playoff win and get that home court in the first round at least. And I think that Denver could be a team that might start considering next year and building for the future and not worry so much about this year. So I think that maybe if they deal Faried for some up and coming players that might not sound like a good trade now, like it might sound like, oh, Toronto is definitely getting the better end of that deal. But some players, that'll be good in a year or two. I think that might work for them, because right now they're sitting 6.5 games out of the 8th spot in the West. In the very competitive West, and they're on a 5-game skid. So I think that maybe Denver might want to consider giving up on this year. Maybe trade one of their bigger pieces, like Faried, you said, and
see about what you said though. But you said how they should trade for an up and coming player. So I think Kenneth Faried still is an up and coming player. I mean, he's only in his third. But the thing is, why is Brian Shaw playing him at like 6 minutes less a game than he was under George Karl? He's playing a lot
less minutes. I've noticed myself.
Reduced minutes. Like, I understand why Brian Shaw is having a problem with Kenneth Faried. Maybe there might be some some they're not agreeing on the court. Maybe Ken Farid's being stubborn, not listening to the coach's decisions and whatnot. But I understand what's going on. Last year he was putting up double figures. He was averaging like 14 and 10 a game, and now he's like 11 and 6 a game.
Yeah,
and it's sad.
I don't know. Maybe it's just Shaw's system, and maybe Farid will thrive in a place like Toronto.
Yeah, I mean Denver's the one who's linking him in trade rumors. They're the ones who are offering him on the table to be traded.
Yeah.
And Toronto's just like, oh well, let's go after Kenneth Faried. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think that trade would bet. Obviously, if they have such a rising star and they're putting him on the table, there's something wrong there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that I think it could work out for everyone if the Nuggets send Farid up north to the Raptors.
Definitely.
All right, so we will see if there are any sweeping trades this afternoon.
Hold on, just one quick moment. What do you guys think of some of the trades that have actually transpired, such as the not Rockets, Warriors, and Lakers?
What was that trade? Steve Blake to the Warriors?
Yeah. Who did?
I mean, that might come in. That might be that could be a good trade because Steve Blake, as I said before in one of the previous radio shows about Stephen Curry, has been healthy all season and he is due for an injury. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but he's due because he has weak ankles his whole career. And maybe by the Warriors are using their head and Steve Blake can be that backup guy and he can help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that Blake's experience with the Lakers is going to be a big plus to the Warriors, who they got experience last year, but they're still a really young team. So I think but Blake is definitely a good pickup for them because he'll bring some added experience, and playing with Colby is definitely a good experience. I think I like the move for the Warriors.
Another thing I want to say is, don't you guys think in the next 3 hours that the Nets should try and go after a big man? Because KG is leading their team in rebounds with 7 a game. So that's the last thing I just want to say, and I want to know what you guys thought.
Yeah, I think so. I think with the absence of Brook Lopez,
yes,
they definitely need someone. I mean, Mason Plumlee's been playing well for them.
Yeah, he needs more minutes.
Yeah, he does, but he's young.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
yeah,
so
true.
I mean, for
trying to win.
Yeah, for a team that's trying to win now with a rookie center playing big minutes, that could be problematic, especially if they get into the playoffs and they go up against, say, a Roy Hibbert, who's an experienced big man. I mean, I'm not saying they need to get like a Dwight Howard, but
no, maybe like someone like a Taj Gibson,
yeah,
or a Jordan Hill, or someone, you know what I mean, someone who's on the bench right now who could provide good minutes.
Yeah,
and maybe a starting starting job for half the season. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Until Brook comes back. But that's all I wanted to throw out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a good point. We will see if any teams that have been waiting will make any moves in the next 3 or so hours, and I'm sure if there are any blockbuster trades, we will be talking about it next week when we are on the air. So we will take a quick break, and then we'll be back with our pick'em. Stick around.